Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. We respect anyone who wanna learn more about ASEO. I don't want to discriminate bad people if they wanna learn. Welcome. In our podcast, we love and respect anyone who wants to become and craft their skills in ASEO field. I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Amanda King. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to people about content. It's one of my first loves as a marketer. I actually started as a copywriter back in the day in 2012, 2013, when it was exact match, keyword, anchor text in the copy. So you had to find the way to make the most awkward sounding phrase fit into a sentence. That ages me a bit, but yeah, that's where I started out. So I've been through the ringer with content, and so coming back to being in a situation where I'm recommending people a lot of times kind of consolidate their content
Yeah.
and really think about what they publish is an interesting place to be in, because I've done the whole thing.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Amanda, I know about your experience. It's a great experience. I want
Thank
to learn
you.
more about that, especially in the beginning of our podcast. So we chatted a little bit, and you said that you are uh, probably against AI written content. So that's fine. I
Yeah.
love it. So basically, we can find the right mix, that
Yeah,
works for
absolutely.
any side because I work a lot with AI content,
Yeah.
and the best content that I get results AI written, and I got one post on LinkedIn that earned plus 100,000 views, and that was
Wow.
completely written by AI. Completely, I changed a little bit, but that was
Yeah.
not like manual editing. That was I mean, like I set up a few prompts, before creating
Yeah.
this post, and I get good results with AI content, and in many places. But what I found, it works if this content is created by expert who knows how to
Mm.
write. So basically, I mean, like I'm not sure you can get any great results if it's created uh, with specialists who don't have writing skills, and second, if this expert is far from to have a great experience. For example, I cooperated with a few great accounting specialists, real great.
Mhm.
They have plus 20 years of experience in accounting field, but they don't know how to write. They have no idea how to write. And when they crafted this ChatGPT prompts, they got just generic, no boring, useless
Yeah.
stuff. But second, if you know how to write, if you're great with writing, but if you ask ChatGPT to create content without having experience, you can't ask the right questions, you can't edit results, you can't check out the quality. So for me, it's very important to have skills and know how to write. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and look, I think one thing that I really appreciate that ChatGPT has allowed is for a lot of folks where English isn't their first language, as well, has helped facilitate a lot more fluency and a lot more visibility in English. Absolutely. Um, so it's amazing that that post it did as well as it did. But I do think there is definitely an art and a balance to finding the right prompt. And
Yeah.
I remember in the early days of ChatGPT, we say early days, and it wasn't actually that long ago, but everyone talking about how you need to learn how to be a prompt engineer. And it's definitely something that is a different skill set. And it's a different way of writing. It's a different way of framing how you work with a large language model. And you're right. If you don't know how to prompt, you're going to get a very generic answer, because that's what large language models are trained to kind of baseline to, is the consensus and is the most common answer. So it is about kind of that grounding and all of that, and that's difficult. And it's not something that the everyday accountant, even if they have 20 years of experience in the industry, is going to be able to do. So I don't know if you've done this yourself when working with clients before large language models to write content, but something that you may be able to translate, right, is if you work with people who and do a Q&A and use that as your framework for your prompt, so they're not necessarily doing the prompt themselves. Um, because that Q&A gives you the ability to understand their expertise while not relying on them to be able to know how to write. And I feel like that can probably translate for some people into creating a good ChatGPT prompt as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I don't think it's a good idea to check out any templates. Yeah,
Mm,
I can learn some ideas from different prompts,
yeah,
but I usually craft them myself, So because
absolutely.
I have no idea what kind of results I can get, but I play with them. I play
Yeah,
if I get wrong results, I can ask clarify my prompt. If
yeah.
sometimes I can quit the chat and start again to play again and again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's part of the process. You mentioned about keyword research. It's interesting about that because I think today when we have AI mode, uh, and probably not today, but it's going to become that in one day, because I mean, like, keyword research was used because people couldn't ask long questions on Google for a long time.
Mhm.
And but today, when ChatGPT changed the game, when Google AI mode can reply fully and understand all questions, today even Google said about that it can change behavior.
Mm,
It's the process. It's not like in one day it can happen, because people have habits to use keywords for a long time. But for example, if I ask any question, let's imagine weight loss. So I submitted this keyword in ChatGPT, and what I found, ChatGPT asks for clarification. Please explain,
mhm.
what do you want to get? You want to
Yeah.
get a diet plan? Do you want to learn about specific weight loss process? So I think it can become that soon. And I see many experts started to search for topics or
Mm.
questions answers. What do you think? How to create the right strategy today?
Well, I have for a long time I felt like keyword rankings, and this may be controversial, but for a long time I felt like keyword rankings are a vanity metric because our search results have been personalized for so long anyway. So when I do keyword research and when I think about understanding the market, I actually tend to go back to traditional marketing and I tend to look at focus groups, sales teams, support teams, and start there rather than necessarily starting with what the tools are telling me the highest keyword volume, lowest difficulty searches in my country are. So I I tend to approach keyword research a bit differently and think of it more kind of in topic areas, right? And think about it more from a who would I trust kind of perspective. Like I travel a lot. I've been to over, oh God, I want to say I've been to over 40 countries and I've lived in 3. And for me, if I were to go to someone for travel advice, right? And I was looking for, let's say, something in Paris, and they talked about Paris, but they never spoke about the Louvre, or they never spoke about Notre Dame, or they never spoke about like croissants. I wouldn't necessarily trust that they had actually been to Paris. So I think about it more that way. I think about it more kind of in entities and in kind of that vector based concept than necessarily lexically kind of keyword based. So I do think that this kind of AI mode filtering, clarification, kind of follow up questions is it's definitely something that will happen. I mean, when you think about traditional search, Google's aim since it's been created, right, has been a way to understand the intent behind the search, right? And that's kind of ChatGPT's way of doing that is these clarifying questions. So they're trying to get to the same place in just slightly different ways. So I think there will be a bit of a nexus there, a bit of an end connection where they end up going for the same end result in slightly different ways.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned about metrics,
Mm,
keyword difficulty, volume, and what I can see, people who started SEO without having great experience, these metrics can confuse a lot, especially volume. I mean, like, it's the most popular metric. I analyzed 20 countries, which metrics are the most popular in SEO, and volume was the most popular in 19 countries. Only in China they have probably, I don't know how it works in China with their symbols, but anyway, so volume is very popular. And what you can see when people type on Ahrefs, SEMrush, SERank, and many other tools, Google Keyword Planner, they see volume like million. Oh, I want to get million traffic, and it confuses a lot. And because sometimes the best results are coming from zero volume or real low volume, because on long tail keywords that really sell. And for example, I cooperated with one website for a long time, and when they came to me and asked, we don't know what's going on, we tried everything, but nothing works. When I analyzed their strategy, they chased high volume. All their strategies to create content, a lot of content at scale with this high volume keywords. I replied to them, no, we don't need traffic, we need sales. So we need relevant traffic, small traffic, but real traffic, right traffic. And I know some companies in Inc. 5000 companies in the US, they have real small traffic, but right traffic, that can bring a lot of money, real sales. Can you tell for someone who jumped on this field how to analyze metrics and prioritize with less bad quality?
Yeah. So, look, I think to a certain extent, it's ignoring keywords and keyword volume, because that is a very SEO specific metric. That is our own kind of obsession, right? Our CMO, our CEO, our COO doesn't care about keyword volume at all. Like you said, they care about sales.
Yeah.
So it's really about when you come into a role for the first time, whether that is in-house or agency or a consultant, it's about understanding the metrics that matter to your stakeholders and figuring out how to align the work that you're doing with the metrics that they care about, right? So this is not an immediate kind of alignment with keywords. But for example, when I was working at an enterprise telco here in Australia, I never actually called SEO. It was accessibility, it was site speed. It wasn't SEO. It was lining up to all of the other initiatives that the business cared about. So in terms of keyword focus or things, it's okay, what products and what product lines are we going to be focusing on in 6 months that I should start doing work on now? Like, are there product owners or specialists that I need to get in touch with to learn about the features of this product or understand what the offering is? Like, it is much more organic than necessarily looking at a list of keywords. I think it's still valuable to look at the list of keywords, but it shouldn't be the first place that you start, either in your own kind of analysis or your own measurement. It should always start with the business.
Yeah, nice, valuable. I agree with that. So I usually start with learning customers. My main priority to understand customer preferences, what they like more, and craft the strategy from the bottom funnel. I hate top funnel. By the way, we use top funnel, but in the way when we really get some questions from customers about specific topics. And
Exactly.
but I never do it for the sake of topical authority, because I see when websites create content for the sake of topical authority, but if customers are not don't need it, so I don't create these topics.
Yeah. And that is where a lot of my drive to recommend consolidating content comes from, because there was that period of 5 to 7 years before the helpful content updates where every online company was creating those 300 to 500 word SEO articles that were super targeted on one keyword. And it's like, but what value are you providing to your customers if you're writing an article on shiniest diamond rings, biggest diamond rings, and whitest diamond rings? Like, there that's all duplication, and it's all answering the same question. So just answer that question in one place.
Yeah, nice. Amanda, I want to
Yeah.
ask about one important metric, CTR. So basically, when today we have this AI mode, AI overview, and the
Mhm.
main difference, for example, AI mode to compare to 10 blue links, basically, when users can find these 10 blue links, they can read title, description, all the snippets, and it's not enough. It's not enough, and they need to click to open the entire content and consume it. But AI mode is different because people can get the full answer, and if you click to these links that can these references, basically you can get the same information because AI mode rewrote all this information, put to the customer's table, and they don't need to click it. So that is why I usually change my strategy. I don't chase topics where people when users can get these references, but with low CTR. I ignore them. What is the reason if people open Google and don't click at all? So can you tell from your perspective how to do it right, how to craft strategy for AI mode specifically?
Yeah, okay, interesting. So I think, again, this is me being a bit of a marketing nerd and showing my uni days, because I studied business and marketing in school. And I think this last decade of the internet, for both paid channels and organic channels, we've had this golden age of measurement where so much was available for us from a data perspective, and that's starting to kind of fall off again. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if, because I know folks like Rand Fishkin and Donatella Maceo and a bunch of other folks are already recommending more reach-based metrics, where you're looking at kind of the reach that you had and the impressions, for lack of a better word, that you had against your bottom line, against your sales, and kind of monitoring that ratio rather than specifically looking at something like click-through rate because of the behavior change with AI mode. So I think in terms of a right strategy for AI mode, it is about shifting the metrics that you look at for the success of those, because as you said, how much percentage of the time people are actually clicking through, and yet Google doesn't fully control the bottom of the funnel yet. There's a whole conversation with PayPal going on if you look at some interesting press releases and Google Shopping and Merchant Center and all of that. But I think that for the moment, someone will still have to go to your website to purchase or do that final transaction or contact you for, a consulting gig or whatever. Like, there is still that end bit that is in your control. So I think it's about finding the way to accurately measure the work that you've put in to get visibility in AI mode against the transactions that you've been able to have. So something like that super top of funnel to end of funnel ratio is, I think, where a lot of folks will end up getting with AI mode. What's your experience, Ben?
Yeah, but I think Google wants to control bottom funnel, and
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely does. It wants to control all of it.
yeah,
So
wants,
eventually there will be a
but
point
doesn't.
where our websites are just essentially going to be
Yeah.
data feeds. But we're not quite at that point yet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I think Meta wants to control bottom funnel. ChatGPT, yeah, we can see.
Everyone does. Everyone does. Let's be honest. Everyone
Yeah,
does. Like they want that. They want that
yeah.
finality. They want that full funnel control.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I read some goals of Meta. They wanna connect directly sales. I mean, like directly connect products with without marketers. So basically,
Mm,
when some business owners can open Meta and they wanna, I mean, like to set up the entire process when business owner can write, okay, I need sales for this product, and Meta will create everything. But
yeah.
we are far from that, like, yeah,
Hopefully. Hopefully.
yeah. But I think anyway, whatever happens, we need to adapt. So
Yeah.
basically, even if Meta can take some part of the trade, that's okay. That's normal. That's
Yeah.
evolution. So we need to adapt. And
Yeah.
the same we have on ChatGPT. Because you can buy products directly on ChatGPT today, you can do
Yeah.
it on TikTok, you can do it in many places.
Yeah.
But I think marketers still need it because I cooperate with many business owners who have no idea how to craft content, who have no idea how to create even if you have this automation, it's okay, because in my company we also create some automation. It's not like replacement for SEO experts, but we just wanna to make workflow when SEO experts can spend some time. But when we can show this AI automation to customers directly, they still don't have idea how to do it right. So it's normal.
Yeah. I know content is it's a very odd thing, right? Because it's a mix of information and sales, and it's something that is difficult for a lot of people. I have a very biased opinion because I studied English lit and business in school, so I have that combination from the start. But I recognize that it's not something that is easy for everyone. So it does come back to how we work with ChatGPT and how we ground it and how we use it in order to create content that is still unique and still on brand and still something that is something that we would be happy to say is from our business if Google or ChatGPT didn't exist, right? That's a question that I ask a lot of my clients is like, is this something that you would actually be happy to put your name to and say, yes, this is from brand X? If not, then maybe go back to ChatGPT or go back to the prompt or go back to the subject matter expert and say, hey, this isn't quite right. Let's work it out again, because it does all come back to brand, and brand is something that is an intangible that's really hard to kind of grasp and hold on to. So it's and very hard to measure. So if your gut is telling you this isn't something that I'd happily sign my name to, then maybe go back to the beginning with it.
Yeah, I always listen to my gut, always, because my intuition, probably that was created by experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like sometimes I don't use data because of some intuition. I don't know, but you can't get this intuition without having experience, long
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, Amanda, I wanna ask about technical website audit. I think it's very important today. And I opened your website and I see like what you can help customers with technical website audits, consulting and training, digital strategy. So
Yeah.
let's start with technical website audit. I'm interested about, I often get this question about Page Speed Insights. It's very popular free tool on Google that can analyze a specific page and provides like green, yellow, and line zones. And many people are obsessed. Okay, I want to get 100% only green, not only green, even 100%, according to this tool. So what do you think about that? Is it good idea to chase this 100%?
In a single word, no, it's not. I think that, again, to give an example from my own experience, right? So I was at this enterprise telco in Australia at a point in time when everyone was really obsessed with migrating to server-side rendering because of the benefits to site speed that it was meant to give. But for the company that I was at, to do server-side rendering would take probably 3 years and at least $3 million to do. Like the work was not worth the payoff that we would get for that. So I think up until a certain point, site speed and the site speed reports are useful, but also Lighthouse and that reporting is not helpful for people who don't already understand the technical universe of the internet. So it's a very odd tool where it's meant to be accessible and usable by everyone, but it's really not. It's a test for developers, and like that was never really clearly stated. So people get obsessed with getting this 100th score and yet don't understand the trade-offs that they're doing for X, Y, and Z, where they might get the most benefit from actually doing certain things. So I know WordPress and Yoast work really hard to do a lot of the kind of best practice optimizations out of the box in terms of, giving you ways to localize your font families and things like that, stuff where you could very easily save load time. That should get you within that kind of standard 1 to 3 second range, but it's not worth chasing 100% at all.
Yeah. I cooperate with some customers, and they ask me to check out their developers. And when developers send reports, they usually manually put each URL to this tool and send to me. I replied, when we created our tool, youunmiss.com, so basically we decided to do what many other companies can do, like to create own algorithm by creating technical optimization. Because I mean, like on Ahrefs, SEMrush, Serankin, you can find Lighthouse report because they have own report. Probably they use the foundation of this tool. So we try to create our own technical optimization. Then I found that many customers don't need it. They still use this Lighthouse. So
and I think that's worth acknowledging as well. Like for the average website, right? I think Mark Williams Cook has shared this graph many, many times. The larger your website is, the more important technical and site speed becomes. But if you're just kind of an average small business, if you use one of the standard kind of CMSs, WordPress, whatever, like you're mostly going to be fine when it comes to a site speed perspective. Like maybe be aware of how large your images are or how many videos you're putting on the page, but you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah. And what we did differently. So I told my team we need to create this tool at scale. Basically, I mean, like the main frustration with this tool that you need to copy URL to put it and wait for like a minute to get results. So and what we did it, we basically in our tool you can put your domain and analyzes all pages with this metrics, and you can find out which pages have low score. And of course, you don't need to chase 100%. You don't need to chase even green zone, because we get some content in even red zone that ranks well because of UX. So it's better to pay attention to UX. But if you can fix it, why not? Yeah, it's better to fix. So for me, like it depends. As you, in our field, it's always Amanda,
but sorry, as you said as well, like content and user experience and the page design also really go hand in hand as well. So I can never divorce myself from the experience of the website when I'm looking at content, or when I'm thinking about content, or when I'm thinking about how to consolidate content on a site, or what information to include on a page. Like the way that it's presented visually and in the code matters as well. And it's like SEO and content is a very kind of intertwined thing.
I usually say you can improve these metrics if you can, but without sacrificing UX, without sacrificing visual part. So customers, when they open websites, they have no idea about technical optimization. Plus 99%, probably almost 100% never check out that. So, but they see visual part. If it's loading fast, if UX is good, readability is good, so why not? They don't need these metrics, and Google doesn't care about that. So I check out many pages on Amazon that in the red zone but have million traffic, so because Amazon doesn't care about this metric at all. They care about speed and quality, all this data. Amanda, let's talk about meta tags.
Sure.
yeah, I love this topic as well because we built our tool in meta text optimization. So basically, we had a customer many years ago. The target niche was weight loss supplements, and this company couldn't grow results for 3 years. So they had traffic like 100,000 people monthly, not bad for the US market, good money, but they invested plus 100K monthly to improve results, but nothing happened for 3 years. Probably it helped to stay on this niche, with
Yes.
this traffic, like small fluctuation, 5-10% each month. But anyway, they couldn't go ahead. And when I analyzed this website, I found all meta texts were written for the sake of putting keywords. Very generic, nothing
Mm.
special. And after reading many pages, I got it. It doesn't encourage me to click. It doesn't give me a strong reason. Doesn't provoke my curiosity to open a specific page. And what we did, we rewrote all this meta text. We rewrote everything. Uh, After 1 month, traffic doubled because of CTR, not
Amazing.
because of growing ranking positions. So, and we created this tool. We created this tool that analyzes meta text from 0 to 100 because, I mean, like in most tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, many others, they just show simple data like short, long, missing, duplicated, nothing special. But we analyze it from 0 to 100 to show CTR. So, but today with AI mode, many
Yeah.
things are different today. So, what do you think about meta text? It's yeah, your
No,
perspective.
this is all kind of gut feelings of having been in the industry for 15 years and talking to some very smart people about it and hearing their other opinions. But look, I was definitely with you on the right for the customer, right for the CTA, probably up until about 2.5 years ago, with AI mode, with Google essentially entirely rewriting your meta descriptions and meta titles fairly consistently. I think it's like 80% at least get rewritten now. Someone, oh gosh, and I can't remember who, so I apologize to whoever this said this. I'll attribute you later, but someone said something that really stuck with me, and it might have been a Googler actually, that said basically use the meta description at least to provide a fairly exhaustive description of the content on the page. And that will be more useful to Google to be able to understand the document than a traditional meta description. I haven't tested this myself. I haven't run anything against it, but that was a really interesting concept that stuck in my head, to use the meta description essentially as like a TLDR for the page. That kind of first couple sentence introduction to be like, this is what the page is about. This is everything that's there. And being really specific in that, however many characters you decide to put in. But yeah, that would be something that I'd be interested in testing against that kind of traditional CTR, because I'd be curious, because otherwise it's just hearsay if it's not tested and validated. And I'm sure there are some people that have tested it, but it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I remember Mark Williams said on LinkedIn that if you remove meta text description, you can even increase your CTR.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm dubious about that. So
I think it would really depend on the industry as
yeah, of
well,
course,
because
of
different
course.
verticals are more competitive, or require more validation or trust and things like that. So I'm sure it would be vertical specific as
Yeah,
well.
he didn't say that you can increase CTR plus 50%. He told that you can slightly increase your CTR. So it's yeah, it's not help. The main point that he said that Google can recognize intent and put better description. That can help a little bit, but he said it can help to save your time crafting this description. So basically, you can save like the length like 160 characters. So basically, you can save like a minute, to write this description, to focus on things that matter. But I'm not sure about that because I didn't get this confirmation from Google representatives, from Bing
Yeah.
representatives. They always say it's very important for CTR, keep writing, it can helpful. It's not like when meta text keyword died,
Oh,
yeah, many
yeah.
years ago. But when they tell, okay, we don't consider it meta text description, then I will. Oh, sorry, my dogs
That's
usually take part of
okay.
my podcast all the time. So people can see it's live, it's a real conversation. Yeah. Okay, Amanda,
Yeah.
I wanna ask about your strong side. Yeah, what I see, many SEO specialists are good with one specific direction, and I mean, like probably in my team, many people can beat me in one side in
Mm,
one specific thing, like technical optimization, like content creation, because I love management. I love management. I understand how things work, but for
yeah.
example, I check out my speed to even to put content on WordPress with my content manager that can do this job every single day. She beats me like 6 times faster, because she always does this job. I don't. And even in many other fields, people can craft skills in specific direction. Can you tell about your strong side in SEO?
Yeah, so my strong side in SEO, it's an interesting one because I would say I am a very strong translator. So
Mhm.
I take your smarts as the in-house SEO or as the subject matter expert or as my client, and I am able to translate that in the best way to your stakeholders, to your business in order to get things done. And my personal background is, as I said, it's content and it's business. So I'm really good at bridging that gap. I'm really good at bridging that gap between the benefit of having all of these topics on the website and maybe a couple of specific keywords to the business benefit. And that's something that a lot of SEOs in particular, kind of junior or mid-level SEOs that struggle with. It's not something that's super familiar to a lot of people to be able to bridge that gap and have those conversations. And that's just how I natively think. I am a business strategist that happens to know a lot about how the internet works and can help prioritize.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's the biggest thing about SEO, right? Is it's a never-ending list of priorities, a never-ending list of tasks to do. And it's like, okay, well, what's going to make the most impact for us in our business right now? And that's where I step in and can help. Uh, and I can write pretty well and do all of those things. I can do all of the kind of foundational, fundamental SEO things pretty well. I know enough JavaScript to be dangerous and entirely break your website.
Yeah, nice.
and and I can do all of those foundational analyses to be able to create that strategy. But it is really that translation where I would be able to help anyone the best.
Oh, that's nice. I think priorities in SEO probably everywhere. Priority
Yeah.
is very important because when you try to do everything or cover a lot, you
Yeah.
become successful in one. So yeah, priorities. And how you choose the right priorities? I mean, like you need to do many things, but how
Yeah.
to choose critical things that can help a lot.
Yeah, well, it comes back to the business, right? And the priority for the business. Because if you're not aligned with what the business wants to do or where the business wants to be in the next 3 to 5 years, then, you know, why are you doing what you're doing? And I think where a lot of people fall over or run into some issues is that these are not decisions that you can make by yourself. It's by its very nature very collaborative, even before you present your recommendations, right? So there's this whole concept called pre-wiring, where basically anyone who's involved in the decision, when you present your recommendations, it should never be the first time that they're seeing your recommendations or that they're saying yes to your recommendations. So for example, like if I was doing a technical audit and I had a full list of, okay, these are all of the issues, I look at, the percentage of the website that it's affecting, how bad the issue is. And then I also look at how many of like the key service or offering pages it's affecting. And that leads my initial priority, but I always validate that with the person in charge of doing the execution. So usually a project owner or something. I'm always like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Does this make sense? Does this align with your sprint planning? How does this sit within your scope of work for the next year, or however far you have it planned out? Like, it's inherently about being very social, which, I'm an introvert. I hate people. And yet somehow I've landed in a role where I'm half the time I'm talking to people and like getting stuff done and figuring out how to get stuff done. But that's a really big part of it, is like, yes, you want to be the subject matter expert. You want to be the person who takes credit for these decisions and this amazing increase in conversion rate or visibility or whatever it is. But you're not actually the one that's sitting down and doing the dev changes or doing the QC or doing the accessibility updates or anything like that. It is a team of other people, or even, Dave in the basement, if you're in a smaller company, or the team that you've outsourced to India or wherever it may be. Like, you 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, you're not the person that's actually making those changes. So you need to grease the wheels. You need to bribe the developers with whiskey and chocolate and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not anything that you can do alone. And it's about being able to step up and have those conversations and knowing how to have them.
You gave me a good idea. I never thought about that, because it's really tough with developers when you can bring them technical
Yeah.
optimization audit. Most things are ignored. And I often get the reply, we can do it. It's impossible. I usually find other words, so we try to communicate. Yeah, it's tough, but sometimes really they can't because of some
Yeah.
limitations on
Yeah.
CMS, but sometimes they can, but they don't want. So, yeah, I need to think about whiskey. I need to ask developers what they drink usually.
or find out the favorite thing that they do, or whether that's, who likes donuts, or do you really like
Yeah, got it.
pretzels? Like, figure out what they really enjoy and just happen to bring it into the office or send it to where they're working or whatever. Like, there are some gray things that we can do.
So it's a good corruption. I thought about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, interesting about that. Okay. You mentioned about content creation.
Yeah.
Once I had the conversation with Jim Edwards. So he worked in Business Insider
Mhm.
from the beginning of this company.
Mhm.
He became top manager. Then company was sold for $500 million, a lot of money. And yeah, he said me about their concept. So
Mhm.
Business Insider decided in the beginning to create non-boring content. So
Mm.
basically, business is boring niche. And but people, when they open any content, even if it's valuable but boring, people leave it, bounce. Nobody wants to stay like that, to
Yeah.
consume any content, and can you tell your methods? I mean, like, okay, you need to bring value. To consider SEO, I mean, like, probably the structure or put in some keywords, but how to craft content that is non-boring?
Yeah, and it's an interesting question, because I do work with a lot of finance and kind of business services and things that are traditionally boring industries.
Yeah.
And so you can't always make content fun and interesting, but the intermediate step is focusing it on how it will make the person reading it better. So rather than focusing on the features, for example, focus on the benefits. So rather than saying we have, the ability to, track the uh, the level of CTR bestness percentage for your click-through rate or your meta descriptions, you say something like, will be able to tell you, or not even that, it would be something along the lines of, with this, you'll be able to show how much additional revenue you're getting the company. Like focus it on the person who is likely to use the product or contact you, or how it will make them better, because we're all very egotistical people at the end of the day. We're all very focused on ourselves. So if you can make the content about how it'll make this person better, that's always a start. And I'm also a very biased audience here, right? Because I love documentaries. I love the documentaries that are passionate people talking about the things that they're passionate about. And I think anytime that you can get a subject matter expert really kind of hooked in and excited, talking about the thing that they're passionate about, it's always going to be interesting in some way or another. So I think there's also a lot of untapped potential in video, right? Because you can see how people's face changes and how much they light up when they're talking about the thing. And it's immediately a bit more engaging than an article, which is very kind of black and white and cut and dry.
Yeah, nice, valuable. You mentioned about transferring data to stakeholders. It's really tough, I know from personal experience, especially when people don't know SEO. And what I found, my best results are coming from clients who understand SEO. So I usually advise to learn a little bit, to spend some time, to make your hands dirty in order to understand. Because if people don't, it's tough to cooperate, it's tough to get great results. And especially when customers rely 100% on SEO experts and they think they can do everything. No, they can't. It's like cooperation. We need to cooperate together, because it's not only about SEO. We need to help you brand awareness with many things, because marketers can't save bad products. We need loyalty. We need to do many things. So, Amanda, I have an interesting question to you about that. So basically, let's imagine you wanna order SEO, but you have no idea what SEO means. You never, you know Google, because you can open Google, search some keywords, but you have no idea how Google can rank any content. But you have a business, you wanna get relevant customers. How you can learn SEO from scratch without having any experience, knowledge, in order to find right people who can help you with that?
Oh dear, that is a tough one on the internet today. I know Alita has some really good SEO 101 resources, so I would immediately suggest something like that. But if we're talking about entirely from scratch how to do SEO, regardless of what kind of the internet says, honestly, and this is back to some of the things that we've talked about earlier, I would talk to my customers. I would talk to my customers and say, hey, I'd love to sit with you and go through my website. And I would love to hear the questions that you have after that about what I do, how it'll benefit you, and any other details that you had questions about. Because at the end of the day, what Google is trying to replicate and understand is what people want. And if you can go directly to the source, start there. So kind of two paths, right? If we're talking about the traditional, I want to teach myself how to do this, where should I start? I'd start with someone like Alita and her resources. I think it's actually called like SEO 101 .org or something. And if we're talking about, I just want to make my website better and get more visibility on Google, start with your customers and really listen to what they're saying and make sure that you answer their common questions and give as much detail as makes sense for the industry and be as specific as you can be. I think that's something that a lot of people miss on their websites, because we all have our own assumptions about the fact that if we know something that, oh, of course our customers are going to know it. It's like, no, assume they won't. Like, do not make any assumptions about either what Google knows or what your customers know. So if, it's if you need a 35 millimeter wrench to install this piece of hardware or whatever, include that on the page. Like, be thorough and exhaustive as well. So
Yeah. And I remember I had a client in finance niche as well. So basically, this client paid $6,000 for one press release to write and distribute. And he asked me to find a way to write 12 press releases a week and distribute all of them. That cost like $72,000, for 1 week.
Yeah.
I didn't have this budget, so I told him, okay, let me figure out. And PR was not my strong side, so I started from scratch. I wrote a bunch of press releases. I distributed all of them for 3 months.
Yeah.
I got 0 links, 0 mentions, nothing. I kept doing that, but without even one reply back from journalists. Just unsubscribe, don't reach out to me, anything like that. So after 3 months, I got first link with low authority website. Then in 6 months, our results were close to average. After 9 months, we got Forbes, Bloomberg, Business Insider, MSN, CNN, real big players, But I think it's a good idea for anyone. If you wanna get results, you need to make your hands dirty. You need to try,
Yeah.
even if you don't get results, but you can learn, because you can read article, watch a video. It doesn't help without trying things. When you try, you can understand much better. Then you can find the right people who can help you with that. So to go in this direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Amanda, I have my final question, very important question for my audience, because basically I never try to acquire some students or ACOs who wanna jump on this field but have no experience. But I got them. I wanna help them as well. So they follow me, and what I can see today, many big companies are trying to replace interns with AI agents. And it's popular today. For example, like 10-20 years ago, big companies hired interns to give them some boring tasks, non-creative tasks. They can learn by experience and go ahead. Today, things are different. Even big companies like Microsoft, IBM, many others laid off a lot of people. If I remember correctly, Microsoft fired like 9,000 people, IBM 8,000. We made a study that big tech companies in the US fired 65,000 people in 2025 because of AI. So AI can replace smart people, because you can't join Microsoft without having a real smart mind. You need to be, you need to know a lot, to join these companies. But AI can replace smart people. It's tough for interns. So I want to ask the same question that I asked before, but with different perspective. Not about you want to promote your website, but you want to learn about SEO to become an expert like you today in someday, for a while. So, but what will you do today to start learning about SEO in order to become an expert in one day, when nobody wants to hire you, nobody wants to give you this knowledge, you have no money, but you still want to do it?
Yeah. Okay. So how to start learning SEO to be an SEO practitioner now? I think the best place to start is understanding how large language models work. Understanding how large language models work and how agentic search works, and then working backwards from there to understand the fundamentals of websites. So things like JavaScript, content, brand. But I think if I were to start SEO right now, today, the most important thing to understand is how large language models and agentic search work. and what that actually means in terms of what is required for your website, particularly for something like agentic in particular, because in order to even allow an agentic agent to complete an action on your website, it has to be spec perfect from a technical perspective. Like there's no room for error because AI isn't like these crawlers aren't people. They don't have a concept of empathy or like close enough. Like there's no margin for error. So I think that's where I would start, in all honesty, is understanding the most advanced kind of technology and where we're at and what that means, and then working backwards from there to understand traditional marketing concepts like brand.
Yeah, nice, nice. I think many things you can do today. I mean, like when I was young, I mean, like to get any knowledge, I should go to library.
Yeah.
Today, when
But
you
I
can,
mean, like it's following like the Claude engineers and looking
yeah,
at the Google engineering docs and looking at Google patents and understanding the guts behind all of these decision-making machines that we're making. So it's getting deep more into kind of like the engineering side of the internet, and SEO, I think, is important.
nice, nice. Yeah, I agree with that. Amanda, it's a big pleasure to get on my show to learn from you. I
Thank
love this
you.
experience. You always bring a lot of valuable insights. Tell the
Thank
best
you.
way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah. So the easiest way to get a hold of me is probably on LinkedIn. I post relatively regularly on there. It's Amanda King, or you can find me by Flock, which is my business, FLOQ. I have a Twitter account, but I'm very much not active. So I would definitely say LinkedIn would be the place to keep an eye on me.
Yeah, okay. I will tag you for a while. So, guys, you can find Amanda on LinkedIn by checking my post, or check out description if you listen to this podcast. So you can find, and I recommend to anyone to follow Amanda. You can see a lot of valuable insights. It's very important today, to adapt. Whatever happens, because I can feel that I'm on the second stage. I can create Google, I can create ChatGPT, but I can use these technologies, and I have no idea how SEO will look like, but I
Yeah,
adapt. I adapt.
absolutely.
Marketers on TV and radio didn't lose their jobs. They adapted to digital. Today, it's the same. We can adapt to AI mode. We can adapt probably in the future to virtual reality. I have no idea, but I know one thing. If you have experience to create content, then you can adapt much faster to any new environment that we will come. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Amanda.
Thank you for having me.